I want to actually talk about how do you actually create more innovation in academia. And the answer is really different than what you're used to. And I'm actually standing in front of a dumpster right now. I used to think innovation was about creating things and actually making things and building things. That's why I built the software, the whole reciprocity software, the platform, because I thought that's how you actually innovate. That's how you actually get your name out there. My view has completely changed in terms of what it means to do innovation, particularly in academia. And the view that I take now is that you have to connect with people. And it has to be much more of a heart-to-heart connection where people actually resonate with you. There is so much information that's available. There's so many applications that are available. People don't really understand what you're doing from the rest of the crowd. And the reason is that there is a great deal of noise that exists right now in the environment. And how we should actually go about innovating is completely different. That's why I'm actually in front of a dumpster, is to show you that it's really not about actually any of the things that you might think about. The sort of video quality, for example, what the thing that you're actually building looks like. Any of that stuff doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that you actually connect with somebody. And what matters is that you actually have a very real experience with somebody, right? Like, I can describe all of the really bad smells that I have right now that I'm smelling, but it's really very much about, that dumpster smell, but it's really about connecting and getting people to understand what you're about, what you're trying to represent, all of those particular things. And that story is completely different. It's not really told. It's really thinking about what the existing norms are and how we understand the world and where we truly are going, right? It's looking at what is the formal structure of how the world actually works and the things that are going on, but then looking at what's the informal stuff that is unspoken, that people don't like to talk about, that is uncomfortable, and yet they're actually really doing those particular things. There was a long time, for example, Napster, right? There was a lot of people years ago that used to download music, including myself, that was completely illegal. But it wasn't until there was a moment where you can do this legally that music, for example, really took off. And people wanted these particular things. Now, it's like this, right? With the whole Reciprocity Project, I think people really like the connection. They really want to be part of something. And I don't know what that particular thing is. I'm trying to sort of solve this as I go. But it has nothing to do with the quality of the things that you're actually doing, right? Like, you can stand in front of a dumpster every single day and people will kind of get what you're about. There'll be flies buzzing around, but it's not about the things that you think about in terms of making things perfect, having quality, all of those particular things, but it's very much just sort of, how do you resonate? Like, what is it that makes you real? What is it that makes you more like a normal person that people understand? Now, there's a whole host of people that are doing the complete opposite. I completely understand that. But I think that those people don't necessarily have the longevity, right? The people that have, the steroids, all that kind of stuff, they're there for the short game. But if you look at the people that have been around for a long time, like somebody like Guy Kawasaki, for example, that they do things that resonate with people, and they're still around. He's a guy that's been around forever in Silicon Valley. And it's really about this personal connection, that you're doing something that people resonate with, they make sense with at this particular moment, and they really understand what you're about. That's what innovation is today, and I think that's what it's always been about, right? Like, if you look at things that actually work, look at things that make sense to people, it's not because that they're sort of forcing something onto something else. It's very much a sort of, you're tapping into something. There's this great analogy that I like to think about, is when you try to skate. If you try to skate as a way that you think about, like walking, you can't skate. But what you need to do is catch an edge. So the side of your skate will actually catch, and then it'll propel you forward. And that analogy that we often think about, or I think about with innovation, is really trying to figure out how to catch that edge so people understand and they get it and they want to resonate. And it doesn't matter what about the particular, what's going on in the background. What matters everything about the connection that you actually have. So if you really want to do anything that's innovative in academia, in any area of life, in industry, whatever, you really have to think about how do you catch that edge and what does that look like. And for me, I don't know any other way than just being myself and being somebody that is just completely me without showing all of the other things that are going on. That, trying to be as kind of a normal functioning, dysfunctioning person that I actually am. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.